Now, coming to you from the media capital of the world, Burbank, California, from downtown Burbank and City Hall, or from Hollywood Burbank Airport, from anywhere in the media district, this is another edition of My Burbank News. Here is an aerial view of what Olive Avenue east of Glenoaks was striped for traffic. There have been big changes to East Olive between Glenoaks and Sunset Canyon that have left residents in an outcry. Many residents were surprised to see that after repaving a portion of the roadway, Olive was realigned to a single lane of traffic on each side of the street from the two lanes that previously were there. The new striping plans were in the works for many weeks and announced by the city, and even talked about on the My Burbank Talks podcast, the week that was and the week that will be. Still, many residents did not know about the change until they actually saw it. At the City Council meeting held on February 27, 2024, many residents came to speak to the council and vet their dissatisfaction with what has happened. Most cannot comprehend how a large two-lane street was narrowed down to a single lane. While the city says this lane is the same width as other traffic lanes in the city, one has to wonder why the lane has to be put so close to the parked vehicles. It creates a danger to drivers getting in or exiting the vehicles, with all the room now left in the center that's basically being taken up by delivery trucks, who picked up earlier in the day. Residents are concerned about getting in and out of their parked vehicles. As we drove up Olive for this report, not only can you see how close we are to the parked vehicles, but also trash cans that have been emptied and left partially in the lane by the Burbank trash trucks. Also, in this configuration, there is no thought of bicycle riders. There is no room or dedicated lane for the bicycle riders to ride in as well, like the consideration given for a dedicated lane on Verdugo Avenue when that street was also converted from 2 lanes to 1 lane. David Kriske, Assistant Community Development Director for Transportation and Planning, responded to the public after oral communications at the direction of the council.
The city took the opportunity in repaving most of Olive between Glenoaks and Sunset to look at the roadway configuration and the striping and to look at the city council's complete streets plan. And the city took the opportunity to, in essence, make a bit of a trial, which is some of the commenters on the BRT project talked about, of a complete streets project that would reduce the area devoted to cars and increase the area devoted to landscaping and aesthetics, with the primary purpose of improving safety. So the purpose of the restriping in the near term is to address crashes, conflicts at intersections, and speeding, and a lot of the complaints that we get on Olive in regards to those 3 things. And so the purpose was to narrow the lanes on Olive, which above 7th are huge, the biggest lanes in the city, I think, reduce them down to standard width lanes. They do look very narrow, I think, because of the overall cross-section of the street. They look narrower than normal, but they are standard width lanes that we'll see on most streets in Burbank. And the purpose is to slow the traffic, which is pretty fast right now, potentially reduce accidents, which are higher on Olive versus comparable streets in the city, Magnolia being a particular one, and also, as I mentioned, to reduce conflicts at intersections, and then to implement or at least test out what the complete streets plan shows for Olive. We've received a lot of comments about the restriping, a lot of critiques of it, a lot of confusion. I've talked to a lot of folks, particularly on Olive, who have had mixed opinions about it. I think one theme has been, especially to the Olive residents, that they are very interested in looking at reducing speeding. They are happy that the city is taking an effort to try and do it. Some don't think that what we have done will help, but they appreciate the sentiment that safety and speeding and addressing some of those concerns was the purpose. But we've also been collecting all of the input. It's been kind of all over the map, but it really has centered around the narrowness of the lanes, the wideness of the median, which is a very large median, and maybe some skepticism that those things won't improve the two metrics or the various metrics that we want to improve. And so we're taking that to heart, and we are definitely cataloging that and trying to get the word out on what we're doing. The other thing we would like to do is, after this has been in for several months, we would like to measure those same metrics again and see if it has had any improvement, because part of what we want to do with some of these quick projects is respond to community complaints and make changes and then test them and then see if what we think will be implemented will actually work. And that's a new thing in transportation, and it's a newer process for Burbank, but we think it's important because it really allows you to see how everyone see the things that we think will improve the complaints we're getting, will they actually do that? So we will be measuring speeds and volumes and looking at crashes and seeing if there's a change. And while the staff believes that it was a good decision based on the information that we had about the street, that this was a good move and we think that's going to be successful, if we're not successful, it is just paint. We are able to adjust, and so we can certainly respond to that and try and do it with a data-based effort. But we will continue to take comments and calls and emails and phone calls, and please, particularly the folks on Olive, we really want to hear about what you're seeing out there every day. And so that's the purpose of the East Olive restriping.
If you would like your voice heard about this project, here is an email address and phone number to contact David Kriske. Thank you for watching, and please do not forget to like and subscribe to keep my Burbank going strong.